Welcome to the Forward Podcast. The purpose of this podcast is change the negative stigma around failure into a positive. Failure is only a negative if we do not learn from it and we give up. Welcome back to the Forward Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about finding your winning formula and why it's important to have your winning formula. So the reason why I talk about winning formula is because I believe that everybody has a different formula that helps them achieve success. So I've read in the last few years lots of self-development books. I've been on different training courses, and you'll read books like the 5 a.m. Club, Robin Sharma. In that book, he says that everybody that needs to be successful needs to wake up at 5 a.m. Some would agree, some would not. There's other books that say you need to eat that frog, so you need to do the most difficult thing at the beginning of the day. And I'm not saying these books are wrong, but I also think that some context needs to be taken in with them, because I think everybody's different. As a human race, there are so many varied personalities. And I tried the 5 a.m. Club, and I realised that I'm not a 5 a.m. clubber. I'm a 6 a.m. club. And I think I've met other people that they don't get up early and they're still very, very successful, but they end up peaking further in the afternoon and the evening, and they're night owls. So I don't think it's one glove that fits all. I think that everyone has their own winning formula. So when you're going along this journey of trying to find what it is that makes you get into that zone, they talk about when you're in your zone or when you're in your flow. And that's what I mean by the winning formula, is that you're trying to, in your business or your work life, you're trying to find the flow, because that's when we really see results happen, is when we're in that state of mind where everything is just clicking. Whether you're a salesman and that day, every call you're having is great. Whether you're fixing things and everything makes sense, whether you're a scientist, whatever it is, there'll be days when things are good and days when things aren't so good. And it's trying to find that winning formula that helps you get into that state of flow. And I'm still working on this for mine. So I've got my current winning formula, and I'll tell everybody shortly what my formula is. But that doesn't mean that my winning formula will be good for you. For example, I don't drink alcohol because I know that that's going to be, for me, that's going to give me resistance to create the success that I want. That doesn't mean that there's other millionaires and billionaires out there that don't drink alcohol or do drink alcohol. That they've created success and they still drink alcohol. But that doesn't work for me, because I know that I'm fuzzy-headed the next day and I can't make decisions properly, and it really affects my sleep. So I challenge everybody to keep trying to develop finding your winning formula, to keep trying to work out what works, timings you go to bed, what you eat, what you drink, the things you spend time with, how long you spend on your phone, how long you spend looking at the news, all these different factors that help create that flow. So what I do to try and find mine is when I find those days that I create flow and I think, do you know what, today was a really good day, everything just clicked. That's when you then start looking back and saying, okay, so what time did I wake up? What did I have for breakfast? What conversations have I had? Who have I spent most time with? Where did I work? Was it at somewhere like with Liam? Was it at the old Bond store? Was it at a co-working office? Was it in the office? Was it at home? And all these different factors. So you're constantly evolving your winning formula and seeing at the times that life's good and you're in your flow or you're at your happiest and these things work. It's about reviewing that and seeing where it works. So I believe that we have to keep developing ourselves and learning, and that's what we're constantly doing. So when you read a book, we all read things differently. You suddenly go, that's a great tip, I'm going to try that, I'm going to try this. So I'd always be evolving my winning formula. My winning formula that is now might not be the same in a year's time. So my winning formula is 6 a.m. start. And also now it's non-negotiable that in the mornings I wake up and I spend a couple of hours with my family. I used to wake up and go straight to work and think that was my most productive time of the day, which it is. But then I realised that actually spending some time with my children first is the most important thing to me. And then I get in my state of flow, because I'm not worrying then at the end of the day whether something comes up that I need to get home to see my kids, because I've spent that time with them. And that's really important to me. So it's 6 a.m. start, spending a couple of hours in the morning with my children. then exercise, because again, if I leave exercise to the end of the day, it just doesn't happen. I very much need to get that out of the way. For the record, I don't enjoy exercise. It's a form of torture for me. I have to do it because I know I want to, the self-preservation, and it's important, but I don't enjoy the gym. Me and my personal trainer have got a love-hate relationship. I do genuinely love him, but at the same time, the pain he puts me through, that's where the love-hate comes in. So that's exercise. At 6 a.m. start, spending time with the kids, then exercise. Then the other part of my winning formula is eating healthy. Then it's no alcohol, so I don't drink anymore. I've not drank in 2.5 years. I decided to give up after the business went under because, like I said earlier, I wanted the least path of resistance to be able to create success again. And actually, since I've given up alcohol, my life has improved tenfold with my concentration, my relationship with my children, my wife. I'm a terrible drunk anyway. I get really grouchy and very sensitive. So my wife's a lot happier now that she can crack a joke at 8 in the evening without me getting into a sulk. So that's really important, to have no alcohol. I don't know, I might drink again in the future, but certainly not for now, because I'm still on my journey of wanting to create more success and create success in the businesses. So again, no alcohol. And then one of my biggest ones is continuous self-development. Always reading, learning, watching. I believe that if we're not growing, we're rotting. We need to be growing all the time. And that a massive part of that is self-development. And that is finding different books. And whether it's not books, it's to listen to audio books. I've got a really great tip for you with self-development. If you read a book and you love it, go and get it on audio and listen to it when you drive, because that will just compound the learning. Or the other way around, if you don't read and you listen to audio, if you get that really good one, then go and read it, because you just learn in different ways with different senses. So that's really important. And the last one, and this is the one that I struggle with the most, is less screen time. And I always know how I feel if I'm looking at my phone more, social media, news and different things like that. That really affects me, and I need to look at screen time less, because screens are designed. There are people in Silicon Valley now, scientists who work for Google, all the social media companies, and their jobs are to get our attention, because these companies get paid more. The more attention we give social media, the more they get paid. And it brings me in. And now some people might say, well, no, I'm numb to anything negative online or whatever. But I still believe that it gets into my head. If I look at negative stuff, if I look at the news, like I don't try not to look at the news a lot, then that gets into my head, and that will affect my winning formula. That affects my mindset. So I try my hardest to have less screen time. It's something that's the most challenging thing in my life now, because we're constantly communicating with people. They're always getting drawn in by notifications and other things. So that's what my winning formula is now. And that's what I really wanted to talk about in this episode, is challenging everybody to try and find that winning formula. Because I think if we can hit our flow state more, then we're going to be able to hit our goals more. We're going to be able to get to that point of understanding ourselves and be able to have the success and find that success and hit the goals that we want to have in our lives. So that's what I want to talk about today. And thank you for listening. The next episode is I'm going to do a deep dive into what went wrong, because when I tell people that I had a failed business, the first question they always ask is how and what went wrong. And like I said in the last episode, I have a document that I wrote, which is the what went wrong document. And I'm going to talk about the different things that went wrong, because hopefully that will help people. If you can learn from the things that went wrong for me, it will hopefully help it not happen to you guys. So if you've liked what you've heard today, please like and subscribe to whatever channel it is you're listening on. And also, if you want to reach out to me at any point, my socials are in the links. It would be really great to hear your stories and hear how your winning formula is now working for you. And if you've got any tips on your winning formula, I'm always open to hearing what it is and evolving. Thank you all for listening. See you next time.